Hi folks, welcome back to the channel this morning. It's Thursday, December 16th. The day has come for Oreo to leave the homestead. My dad is on his way to an auction this morning, and Oreo and I have hitched a ride with him to the livestock auction. Only one of us is going to return home, and that one will be me. I'm not trying to make light of that. Y'all, here's Oreo right here, and everybody knows that he's been through an awful lot of things with coccidiosis and very heavy load, parasite load. And that's the one thing we decided when we started in the goat business, was we were going to be very selective and very willing to cull goats that regularly have problems. And of the 10 that we have now, he's the only one that's really given us repeatable problems. And he's not growing right. He's only about half the size that he probably should be right now. And so I've got him in here this morning just so he'd be easier to catch when the trailer gets here. But also I've got Hoover in here with him, just because one thing we learned right off the bat when we brought Oreo home is you can't leave him in a pen by himself. He'll find some way out. So we'll catch him after a while, put him in the trailer, and hopefully I can get some footage there at the auction as well. We've enjoyed having him, and I do know that many of our subscribers have commented and told us that Oreo's my favorite. Oreo's my favorite. How's Oreo doing? Where's Oreo at? I don't see Oreo in the video. And so a lot of people have fallen in love with this goat as far as our subscribers and our followers. And we're sad to see us have to make that change. But we're also excited about the fact that we did find a farm that has some unregistered 100% New Zealand Kiko bucks. They have 5 of them. We've set up an appointment January the 3rd for Lisa and I to go to that farm. It's about 100 miles from here. We'll look at their bucks, their billy goats, and make a decision at that point. Hopefully pick one of those out and buy that billy goat and bring it home, be able to turn it in with our does. So stay with us, and I'll keep you updated throughout the day. He says, I don't want to go. I don't want to go, he says.
You bet. I have no idea, but we're going to start at 200 and go up.
Listen to me, 3, 3,
As Lisa would say, so we tease about that a little bit. Oreo is gone and home from the auction, and we did go ahead and take him to the livestock auction. A little bit of information for you why Oreo is gone. We learned early in this adventure of Kiko meat goats, we need to be willing to cull goats when they were not going to be productive, they were not going to be beneficial, they were not going to be profitable. And we know the time will come when there'll be a pet or something that we don't cull. But as far as Oreo, when we brought him home, we weighed him, when we brought him home, he weighed 41 pounds. We had him 4 months. We figured out the best we could. We had him 4 months. And you see on the scale there, we sold him, he weighed 40 pounds on the scale. A lot of that had to do with just him being sick all the time. when we brought this buckling home, more than one person told us that he would be more than capable of breeding our does and our doelings at the time, even though he was young, that probably very soon he would be able to do that. We've been told by several people that it would work. We've been told by a few people that it probably wouldn't work. But what happened really ultimately with Oreo was he just stayed sick all the time. He got very heavy. We took a sample, and we took a fecal sample and took it to the vet, had it tested, came back with a very heavy parasite load and also coccidiosis. So we did a lot of natural treatments, and we went to the vet twice for 2 different medicines for both situations, and he just wasn't getting better, He just kept losing weight, and kept looking worse and looking worse. He got weak, he got very lethargic. My dad sent us out some powerful medicine and some powerful antibiotics, and Lisa was putting probiotics in him. We were doing everything for him we could do, and he just wasn't getting better. Finally, at the very last there, before we auctioned him off, he dried up, and he started eating again, and he started getting his strength back, and he started drinking water real good, and he was dried up, and he cleaned up a whole lot. So we were getting him out of it, but he was so stunted in his growth, and he wasn't doing his job as a billy goat for us, and he probably wasn't going to. He was so small, I don't know what stunted his growth, but we decided it was a cull, and so we culled Oreo, and we've had a lot of fun with him around here. Lisa would tell you he's the sweetest goat. He really was a sweet goat. She got to love and pet on him, and so we brought we brought ourselves to a page here where we've had to cull a goat, and now we're going to be in the market for and looking for a new billy goat, and we have some parameters that we want this new billy goat to meet this time. So we're going to stick with that until we find the goat that completely fills all those parameters that we've got set for one. So that's what's going on with Oreo, and so we appreciate everyone. And there's been so many comments about Oreo, and you know, people love him, and he's their favorite goat and those kind of things, and you're going to miss him, and I'm not going to miss him because I messed with him and doctored him and drug him around, and he was a discouragement to me, to our progress. We weren't able to get any goats bred. And so now we can move on to the next chapter where we can get some stuff bred. I think my wife mostly shows some signs. Miss Lisa, she's a sweetheart. She shows some signs that she would be perfectly happy if this whole setup was a petting zoo. She doesn't really care whether it's good or bad. She falls in love with those animals, and I get that. Culling Oreo, I knew was going to be very, very hard on Lisa. She was just sad. It was good. She couldn't watch him go to a livestock auction. She didn't want to see him moved around, pinned, and treated like any other goat. He's a special goat to her, and so that's why she didn't go to the auction. You won't see her in any of the videos at the auction. She wasn't there. She said, I just don't want to go. I don't want to see him sell. So I did that part for us, and we're going to both have to kind of grow with this whole livestock thing, and it's just something that you can't get too attached if you're doing this for profit. And so it's going to be a little hard on her getting rid of Oreo, but it's part of the process. It's part of farming. It's part of livestock. And so thank you for keeping up with us, and we'll catch you on the next video, and we'll catch you up to speed on what's next on the homestead.